A parametric equation is a way to represent a circle. A circle cannot be written in terms of y equals f of x because it has two different y values for a single x value, like this.
Parametric equations are defined by two functions, x of t and y of t. T is the independent variable, and x and y are dependent variables.
To graph a parametric equation, you need to create a table and pick values for t. Next, graph the coordinate points x of t and y of t with the chosen values.
So in this example, t must be less than or equal to 2 and greater than or equal to -1. So I chose -1, 0, 1, and 2. The equations in this example are x equals 2t and y equals t squared minus 1. So now you plug in the t values into each equation. So 2 times -1 is -2. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 1 is 2. And 2 times 2 is 4. Next, you do the same thing for the y values. So -1 squared is 1, minus 1 is 0. 0 squared is 0, minus 1 is -1. 1 squared is 1, minus 1 is 0. And 2 squared is 4, minus 1 is 3.
Next, we have to graph. We have to use the numbers as coordinate points, which will come out to be -2, 0, 0, -1, 2, 0, and 4, 3. So once it's graphed, it will come out to look like this, and if you follow the arrows, it will start from the left all the way up to the right.
So for our next example, t is greater than or equal to 0. So we do the same thing and plug in our values for t into the equations. So 3 times 0 is 0. 1 times 3 is 3. And 2 times 3 is 6. We do the same thing for the y value. So 0 squared times 9 is 0. 1 squared times 9 is 9. And 2 squared times 9 is 36. So now we're going to manipulate the x equation to get t alone. So you have x equals 3t. And to isolate t, you just divide each side by 3. So t equals x over 3.
Now for the y equation, we put in the t value, x over 3, so that y equals 9 times x over 3 squared. And after you square the x over 3, that gives you y equals 9 x over 9 squared, simplified out, which equals x squared.
So once these points are graphed, it will look like this, starting at 0, 0, and not ending. In this example, the equation for x is x equals sine times 2 pi t, and y equals cosine times 2 pi t. T must be greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to 1. So next you substitute the values of t into each equation. So for the first one, when t is equal to 0, the sign of 0 is 0. 2 times 1/4 pi is pi over 2, so the sign of pi over 2 is 1. 1/2 times 2 pi is equal to pi, and the sign of pi is 0. 3/4 times 2 pi is 3 pi over 2, and the sign of 3 pi over 2 is -1. And the last one is the sign of 2 pi is 0. So now we do the same thing using the t values into the y equation. So the cosine of 0 is 1. The cosine of 2 pi times 1/4 is 0. The cosine of 2 pi times 1/2 is -1, and the cosine of 2 pi times 3/4 is 0, and the cosine of 2 pi is 1.
After plugging in the coordinate points, you can see it makes a circle. It starts at 0, 1, and it also ends at 0, 1. You should also know that x squared plus y squared equals 1. A standard form equation of a circle with center hk and radius r is r squared equals x minus h squared plus y minus k squared.
So if you have a circle with center -4, 1, and a radius of 8, your equation will be 64 equals x plus 4 squared plus y minus 1 squared. And if you have a circle with the center 0, 0, and the radius of 5, it will be 25 equals x squared plus y squared.